Good squad? Today I'm gonna do an updated version of one of my more popular videos, how to make the most official, legit drum patterns. I pulled up a sample from my new EXILE kit, link below. So let's get straight into these drum patterns. We're gonna start with a clap. Let's go pattern region. Each box is 16th notes, so right in the middle, that 8th hit, where the typical clap goes in a trap beat. Double it to 32 steps. Snare placement pattern, include these two middle notes if you use them in your clap pattern, along with the ones on the 3, using really sparingly. One towards the end. Let's see how that sounds. A little bit of bounce, and one more bonus bit of bounce for claps or snares is that drill placement. Put that regular on the 3s, then go to 32 steps and take this second 3 out and this fourth to last square. It has a delayed second hit, helps to contribute to the drill bounce. Now let's get into hi-hats. One bounce you can build off of, the very basis of it, is something you hear in rage and more new wave electronic type trap. 16th notes, just gonna hit this arrow, fill it all up. This is one of the bounces. Super high energy, but let's change that to 8th notes now. And this is your basic 2-step used worldwide, and we'll spice it up in a minute. Let's get into the more popular hi-hat rolls and placements. So for instance, you could do an interesting roll right on the 1 like this. I guarantee that this 3rd square is always going to work because it's right before the clap. You want to add your hat rolls before or after 808 hits and claps. It's going to hit perfectly. Right before the second half, throw a longer roll, glide into that next note. Like right here. And then on the second last square, I like to throw a little sauce too. Kind of like an outro style roll. Now let me convert this to MIDI. I like to mess with the pitches of the rolls and velocities, of course. Just sweep this high to low. Move on to snares. The go-to pattern that industry producers base most of their patterns off of is based on 2 notes over 32 steps, and I'll show you what that looks like. That'll get you a placement. What you want to do is almost never use all these notes at the same time. Use them sparingly according to pockets in the melody and hats. These middle 2 are almost always essential, but I'm going to keep just the first one since the second one is covered by the clap earlier. You can always throw a single hit right before one of the hits, or a little roll there, but I'm gonna save the rolls for the 64 step part. So that last 3 notes, but I'm gonna roll into that note, and I just want to change the pitch. Or another basic ending you can do goes like this. Those last 2 hits are a weird placement, but they always pretty much sound crispy. Convert that to MIDI now. I want to show you guys some optimal snare roll patterns. On a 4-bar pattern, you want to use the final bar. Same with an 8-bar pattern, you want to start at like the 7th bar. A big part of snare rolls that are catchy is triplets. Then I'll sweep them down so it trails off. Run that little preview. Pretty hard. And let me do the half of that length type roll, so just this last half, 4th bar. Quarter note triplets even, and just sweep that down.
clean.
That should take care of the snare gems. Okay, open hats. There's two different vibes of open hat patterns that I like to use and that I hear a lot in mainstream rap. First is the flourish pattern, I almost call it. You go to this fifth square. It's pretty clean because it precedes the clap hit. Let's go 32. And then this one right here. So those are the notes I'm referring to. And for this little 4 bars, I'd recommend only 1 or 2 max. So that's one accent-based pattern. The interesting one is when you base the open hats off of layering them every time the 808 hits. Well, not every time, mostly just the most necessary hits, so it's not super spammy. That's gonna look like this. That go-to 808 pattern I've showed you guys looks like this in the sequencer. You really should be using at least 1 or 2 notes from that pattern, and when you do, make sure to layer it for extra emphasis and high end, making 808s stand out more. For this example, I would go something like this. Bonus tip, you can change this to note and pitch around the open hat. 2 more things, 808s and sound effects. I just pulled this up from the EXıLE Kit 808 bank. Sounds like this. Dumb hard and nice and punchy. Let's start by laying down that very basic pattern you guys need to memorize if you haven't. That's simple. Just double that over. So one thing I learned recently about these basic 808 patterns is it actually sounds super fire if you delay this 3rd note by 1/8 note length. Gives like a certain drag, delay, and then it hits and it bounces really hard. See what I mean? Next up, you might want to throw little double hits on some of the main hits in order to give it a little bit extra flow and bounce. I'm thinking right before this second hit of the 2nd bar. Da, da, da. As long as your quick sampler is set to mono and a square shaped envelope, pull those double notes back halfway and it'll give a little stutter effect. Not all the time, but sometimes it's pretty lit. One more little saucy tip is if you want to mimic the sound of a reverse 808, especially leading into a main hit or into a clap without actually bouncing it down and flipping the audio track, start by drawing in 64th notes, about an 8th note before the next note. Boom. And select them all, hit A, pull up your velocity, start from the very bottom corner and up to the very top corner. And that simulates rolling it in reverse. Pretty hard. You can actually do the same thing, but with the reverse velocity. Makes it trail off top to bottom. And one more thing I'd note about 808s is that you want to tailor your patterns to be based on the pockets of your sample. Otherwise, it's probably going to sound disjointed and not bouncy enough. With this melody, it's actually pretty straightforward, so you can kind of afford to add more hits in order to balance it out. But if you have a more intricate melody, I recommend sticking with shorter, impactful 808 patterns. And that should run it for that 808. We're down to the last section, sound effects, and I'm just gonna drag one in from the expansive library of effects in the EXILE kit, and I'm gonna drag in 1 or 2 sound effects to get stuff moving. One of the optimal places to put a sound effect is right on the 1 as like a crash into the section. It signifies to the rapper and the listener that something's changing. Let's start with this lockbox perk. And I want to add a first beat impact, like I said. Let's go with that shattered glass vibe. Gorgeous. Perfect. And then that lockbox, these types of perks, the pattern really is based off the go-to snare pattern I just showed you, like that. And of course you can make all kinds of custom exceptions to that rule. And I'm actually going to make a simpler 808 pattern so I'm not accidentally layering those lockbox perks over 808s because it kind of gets drowned out. Let's see. Let's try that. Very clean. That should take care of the majority of drums and sounds you're gonna need to cook up this year. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the process. Take some of these patterns and level up your own cook up. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. I will see you next week. Later.